In this episode, I am still at OPEX Fitness in Scottsdale, Arizona. We shot this episode here last week as well, but OPEX has a physical facility where people come and work out and get on-site coaching, but also has a strong focus on remote coaching and coaching education. Since 1999, OPEX has produced a CrossFit Games champion, 50 Games competitors, and over 500 regional athletes, as well as over 1,400 coaches worldwide. My guest on the show is still Jim. Jim is the director of operations for OPEX Fitness. He has the entrepreneurial role of simultaneously growing the business lines while also putting structure and process around the entire global business to ensure it grows financially and culturally for the long run. This is part 2 of the 2-part episode. In last week's episode, I spoke to Jim on how to build a remote coaching program, and in this week's episode, we're talking about how to use your knowledge in fitness to charge for it and develop other coaches.
If you own a gym or you need a gym, this is your guy.
My name's Mike, and I help fitness studios that are ready to take action, work hard, and grow their studios. In this very saturated industry, there's tons of competition, but the opportunities are incredible. We'll cover the most common challenges in the fitness world and invite guests on the show that have learned to overcome them and share their strategies with you. This is the GSD Show. All right, welcome back for part 2 of the last episode, and this one we're going to be talking about the education piece, right? And so you guys have not only really done a great job of building your actual gym, you've not only done a really great job of getting athletes to be able to successfully compete in competitions, and you've not only built a really great online coaching program, but you built another side of your business, which is the education part. So you've learned how to take all this stuff that you've learned, all your knowledge, and you've learned how to use it to actually be able to charge money for it and really build a whole other side of your business, right?
Yeah, we've got a pretty robust education business at this point where we have live courses that we go all over the world with our coaches. Mainly it's James Fitzgerald, but we also have a virtual platform as well, which we've been continuously building out for the last couple of years because so many clients or coaches in this case need virtual. They either can't get to a course, they can't afford a course, but they need that next layer to get them able to charge more for their service.
Right.
So what we've tried to do is we've tried to create, similar to our last week's discussion on remote coaching, we've tried to create a system that allows the client or the coach to have a great experience and to actually be able to implement something on the backside of it.
Okay.
That's where I think that a lot of courses or education systems sort of lack. Either they're all implementation without theory, or they're all theory without implementation. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to bridge that gap and have both, to take theory and then move it into an actual usable model for people to build a gym in.
Cool. Okay, so who is this education program? Who is it perfect for?
It's perfect for the coach who wants to work one-on-one with their clients. Now, we have tons of people who coach group setting right now who have gotten a ton of good from this because they're going to program their group better and more efficiently, and they're going to think about how to assess their clients one-to-one within their gym. But really, this is going to be for somebody who says, you know what, I'm going to take this client or these specific clients and go from A to B because we're giving them the principles that they need to understand the client. So it's not that you have to back squat today and do pull-ups tomorrow. It's that you have to look at the client and say, where are you today? How can I help you understand and create awareness for you on where you are today? And then how can I build a program based around where you are today that will allow you to take steps forward and always be moving, in an ascending way?
Okay, and so let's talk about, let's say I'm going through your education program. What are the main things I'm going to be learning? Not like the details, but obviously I'm going to be learning, it sounds like, how and when to do certain types of programming. But am I going to learn stuff like customer service or how to communicate with the client and all that stuff as well?
Yeah. So what our program is called is the Total Coach Program. We call it CCP. That's kind of gotten a little viral following out there. And essentially it's a 5-module system. And within that is assessment, so assessing a client head to toe, program design, how to take that assessment and move a client to where they want to go physically, and thinking very high level, moving down to a low level on programming for the client. Lifestyle coaching, which is it's it could be so simple, but it's also such a deep topic where you have to understand where the client sits and you have to help them create an awareness of where they want to go. A lot of clients don't understand at all where they want to go. Then the fourth is nutrition, which is, I think, pretty self-explanatory. Without nutrition, they're never going to be able to get exactly where they want to be. And the last one is actually business systems. So we do want to teach them some sales and marketing tactics. We do want to teach them how to implement an on-site system into their facility. And they have to understand that there are systems and processes around building a business.
Right. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, so let's talk about the nutrition stuff, because that's something that we really didn't touch on in the last episode as well. So when they go in there, and if I'm a coach or I want to be, let's say, a personal trainer, and I'm going through your programming or your education, what am I going to learn in the nutrition? Am I going to learn all the basic stuff, like, okay, this is what ATP is, what protein is, what carbohydrates are, and how they work, different types of carbs, different types of fats? Am I going to learn all that stuff? And am I going to also learn, okay, for this type of athlete, for this type of lifestyle? Is that kind of what you're learning?
Well, it's actually a really good segue. We teach in a principled fashion, meaning you can't do step 9 if you don't know what step 1 is, right? So what we need to teach these coaches is how to understand when to implement some of these practical principles. So if you don't have a client who can sleep, why are you giving them supplements? In terms of, obviously if you're a doctor, there might be a sleeping supplement, but
right.
You get what I'm saying, where why are you doing step 9 if they can't sleep? Why are you actually making them eat 300 grams of protein if they can't actually get it through their gut? So we want to help coaches understand if nutrition is actually working, if
right.
their lifestyle is allowing them to actually make nutrition work for them, and then how they can progress through a strong or a smart nutrition protocol. So absolutely they're going to touch on carbs, fat, and protein. Absolutely they're going to touch on supplements, but you wouldn't implement a deep, complex system if they can't actually chew their food.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I know it sounds so simple, but why get complicated if they can't handle the easy stuff? So that's how we want to teach our clients. Now, we do have an extremely complex science of nutrition portion of the course. That's about 8 hours with a Harvard professor named Matt Lalonde. That's gnarly, you know what I mean? But again, you don't need to be there if they can't chew their food and sleep. So you have to start with where the client is, and that's why it's so important to have the consultation. And by the way, that's why it's so important to have all 5 courses together, because if you only have one, you've only got one lens to view your client through. But if you have all 5, you have the ability to look at them and say, you know what? The programming is not the most important thing for you right now. It's figuring out how to get you to sleep and de-stress. Okay. So that's part of each of these courses.
And when you say chew your food, I don't know if it's physically or just mentally, because I'll give you an example. I was instructed to get egg whites in the morning. I hate egg whites. I can't just eat egg whites. Mm-hmm. I can have scrambled eggs with the yolk, but I can't have egg whites. But I need to get my macros right in order to be able to get to where I want to go. So do you help people, okay, well, if your clients don't like this, these are some great substitutes that have very similar macros?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that we would ask on top of that is, well, what is it about the egg whites that you can't stand? Because we're trying to understand, is there maybe an allergy somewhere? Is there something that's causing you distress, right? So what we don't want to do is make you eat food that causes more stress, because that stress may be a bigger problem than getting your macros in. Now, we do want you to have, again, it depends on your goals, right? So I'm not currently tracking my macros because that's not my goal. Right. But for a client who needs to, or an athlete who needs to track their macros, for sure we want them to do that, but we need to do it with them in a way that is less stressful for them. Right. So we want to do that with, okay, well, here's your calculator, boom, 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 here's what I want you to eat. Is there any issue with that? No? Okay, cool, give it a try. So a week later, how's the food feeling? Feeling good, more energized, sleeping better? Yeah, cool, let's add to it. Right. But again, that's where the conversation and the consultations need to happen, is constantly. And so that to me is what coaching is. It's not one thing, it's a consistent progression with those clients over time to help them understand where they are and where they want to go.
Now you have, I remember when I got the tour of the place, you have a room where people can do classes in here for education, right?
Yep.
But obviously I could be in New York going through your educational program as well, right? Because you have a virtual platform.
Yep.
And what's the difference between the two? Is there one better than another? Should I fly out here, or can I get the same thing virtually?
I mean, let's just talk, schematics of it, right?
Okay.
The pricing, if you bought all 5, is the same.
Okay.
But if you can get out to Arizona, or if you can get to a live course, it's an amazing experience.
Okay.
So there's always, and I'm not taking anything away from the online experience by any means, but when you can get in front of James Fitzgerald, Sharon Preet, Michael Band to teach you, and you can ask questions live, that's just an added layer of excellence, in my opinion.
Sure.
So we could have just stayed totally virtual, but I think that there's such a power to actually being in front of people, meeting people, shaking hands, and actually understanding where their challenges are. It allows us to build the program better and better and better. So I do think that there's a little extra something when you come live, but a lot of people can't do it, and that's okay. We still have good support for them online. We still have great support for them through our membership site, through our Facebook group, etc. And so I don't think they're missing out, but if they can come live, it's pretty cool.
How many people have you had go through your education program?
We actually just checked this last week. We're at about 1,650 right now. So there's been a lot who have done it. And I mean, we're extremely excited for that. Obviously, we have goals we want to keep building, but to think that so many people have, potentially rolled the dice with us and gotten great results from it, it's exciting.
If, let's say, I wanted to go through your course, how long should I set aside? Let's say for the in-person, the live training,
Mm-hmm.
and then the virtual, how long can I get through or how quickly can I get through a course? All of them?
Well, what we do now is we have this cohort system, essentially. So we start people every quarter. We have a new group that goes through. And so they have engagement amongst themselves with their coaches. They have monthly calls. They have a knowledge series call. It's a really cool experience that they can go through where they can ask questions throughout. And the way that we have it structured is that month 1 would be theory, and month 2 would be practical implementation per each course.
Okay.
So they would go through, and that would be approximately 10 months because it's 2 months per course. And then that last 2 months is they're doing and finishing their case study, because no coach gets through our system without actually proving that they can implement these principles into their coaching. So it's about a 12-month
Like
program.
training like a doctor.
You got it. I mean,
That's cool.
and so from a business standpoint, is that a bottleneck for us? Sure. But those coaches who make it through, do we know that they're going to be great? You're damn right we know they're going to be great. And that's what we want, is we want the best coaches coming through, because the whole point of why we do this is to create professional coaches, is to give them the tools that they need to succeed for the long run. And that 12-month time when they're actually implementing this, everything is changing for them. And they're seeing clients differently. They're giving clients programs that are just magically start to work. They're having better conversations. They're understanding themselves better because they have an awareness about what's going on in their lives. So it's something where, we talked last week about how the owner, the coach, and the client need to win. That is very much a part of our education system, and coaches need to understand within their own businesses or coaching businesses that they have to create that.
So you've got about 1,600 plus people go through your program, and it sounds like it takes about 3 months to go through the entire course, right?
12. So
12 months.
Yes, well, because it's 5 courses within the full program.
Got it.
People could choose to take assessment program design those 2 courses by themselves if they want, because we're very well known in the industry for those courses. But we really want coaches to go through that 5-course program in a cohort with the full support, with the full rollout, and that would generally take about 12 months to go through, start to finish, with a case study that actually our owner, James Fitzgerald, personally checks.
It sounds extremely intense.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get a system for it, knowing you.
Definitely.
With it being so intense, is it even affordable for the average guy? What does it cost? It sounds like a $10,000 deal.
No, essentially, if you pay in full, it's a little over $4,000, or you can do a 12-month payment plan.
For one of the programs?
All 5 courses.
For all 5,
all of them.
you pay
Yeah.
$4,000 and you get the whole year?
You got it. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Or you can do a 12-month payment plan at $395. So yeah, in my opinion, it's extremely well priced.
And profitable for you guys still?
Definitely. Yeah.
Wow. So again, it's all about the system, right? If you didn't have a system, this would probably be a total loss for you guys.
Yeah.
With all the stuff that has.
Well, what the system allows us to do is to give the experience, right? So because we are virtual, we have to do a lot of things to create support for the coach, and that's quite frankly one of the biggest reasons that people come to us, is they know we're going to help them from day 1 to day 365 and then 4 years after. So I mean, I get emails, quite frankly, daily from coaches who went through this in 2011, 12, 13, and they're still asking questions. Now, mind you, they might go do it in the membership site because that's where so much engagement happens. But really, we're still talking to these people all the time, and that's the way we want it. We want to support them start to finish, and there's never a finish. You know?
Right. Now, do any of your coaches ever ask for education that's outside of the program? Let's say if they want to learn how to do the online game, or if they want to learn how to actually get a facility totally laid out with the right equipment and get the right vendors. Do they ever ask you for that kind of stuff, or no?
Yeah, the big one is we're getting a lot of people who want an OPEX facility, and
Really?
you know, so I've probably had 100 people who
Like a
have
franchise.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, you know, because we're not to that point yet, I'll just kind of leave it there. But that is something that is in the works. That I think will be a great way to continue to build the brand of OPEX, and a great way for owners to have that owner, coach, client win in terms of a system. And we want to do it right and provide the same type of service to those folks as well. And that to me is sort of the next evolution of where we're heading. And we're in beta facility trials right now to understand how it's working. And when we get it right, the whole world will know about it.
That's great. And I know there's a lot of people that want to do some online education as well. We're actually diving into a platform, and we actually have that whole thing built, but now it's at the point where it's very, very different than yours. It's more on the marketing side,
Sure.
right? But I know we're looking at tools like Kajabi and Teachable and Noodle. Do you guys have a software that you like using for education stuff?
Yeah, we went with the LearnDash platform.
Okay.
Because it allowed us to get the pieces that we felt like were the most important, meaning we can track their progress, they can track their progress, they see where they are in the program. Now, obviously, LearnDash is not the only tool that does that, but we integrate LearnDash with Infusionsoft through a plugin called iMember, and we use a WordPress website. Is it the best way of doing it? Probably not. You know what I
You're
mean?
in.
Yeah, but we're in, and so we want to continue to build on that platform. But when we went to LearnDash, which was about a year ago, it was a fantastic switch for us because the look is far cleaner. It's way more intuitive on how people go through the courses. They know where they are. They understand what they need to do next. Obviously, we have follow-up for them, with automated marketing, it's not marketing, but fulfillment campaigns with Infusionsoft.
Right.
So we're constantly in touch with these folks, making sure that they're moving forward. If they don't pass an exam, because all 5 courses have exams, if they don't pass one, we let them know.
Right.
So they need to move through this thing because we want to help them get to where they want to go.
Cool. Yeah, I think what you guys did is extremely smart, and I think it's a perfect segue into what you guys have naturally been doing every day. All day you're teaching.
Yeah.
You're coaching and you're teaching. This is why you want to eat this way. This is why you want to lift this way. This is why you want to rest this way. This is why you don't want to worry about this. You want to focus more on that. You guys are teaching all day, every day, to totally different types of personalities and people and goals. And so getting in the education game just seems like a lot of sense, but obviously you want to make sure you guys are teaching something that brings a lot of value. You guys are teaching how to really not just run a successful business in this industry, but also how to get their clients results, which is the number one thing, because it doesn't matter how good you are at marketing, doesn't matter how good you are at systems, if you can't get your clients results, there's no marketing that's going to save you.
Yeah, you're very right there. I mean, I think that marketing can help a lot. Revenue can help a lot. But one of the things that we pride ourselves on is almost nobody is from Arizona. We all came here because we had the same belief system in teaching principles of fitness. And that is so powerful to our business because we love what we do. We want to be in this game. We want to help clients get results. And so when people feel that, which they do, whether it's through virtual terminals, through an on-site coaching system, through an athlete camp, when people feel that, they want to be a part of it. And then what we need to do on the backside is to make sure that we can have that consistency in conversation and results with them regardless of where they are or where they want to go. So we don't treat anybody differently. We treat them for who they are. And the reason we can do that is because we teach through principles and not through this is your macro if you're a male at 35, this is, so we teach where people are, and we love to help them go to the next level. And that's not just with our coaches or with our owners, that's with our staff, that's with our outside coaches who are our global coaches, that's with our coaches in our education system. So we're lucky in the sense that we've had a strong enough message that obviously we believe highly in. Our message has resonated highly with people all over the world, and so they want to be part of that system. So you can talk about tribes and communities and everything else like that, and it's been very organic for us. So because of that, we're able to add all of the layers of marketing on it and have a lot of success with it because it's built. It's never going to stop being built more,
right.
But it's something where I think that a lot of gym owners or a lot of personal training coaches can think about is, well, what message are you really trying to get across? What are people buying into? If they're not buying into anything, why would they stay? So you have to create an aura, a persona, a feeling for these folks to feel every day. Now, obviously, sometimes they come in and they're not super excited, and that's fine, it's part of life. But they need to know that in a grand scale, you have their best interests at heart. And if you can't prove that, you're in trouble. So what I would say for coaches to remember is, why are you doing this game? Are you really in it to help clients? And if you are, how can you get that message out? And that's probably where you guys can come in a very big way.
You guys got a great business. You have a fantastic why. The purpose is there. And I think that's why you guys are so successful. I truly believe that if you know what you want to do and why you want to do it, you may not know how to do it yet, but those two things, the what and the why, are going to help you get to the how. And a lot of these trainers that don't know how to put together some of these programs that you guys have done, the education or the online stuff, they may not even know how to begin.
Yeah.
But if it's something they really want to do and they know exactly why they want to do it, you guys have the great purpose of really wanting to help these clients around the world get their results. I think they're going to figure out their how, no problem, just like you guys did.
And kind of my last piece on it would be, you have to work. We're in this age of fulfillment 100% of the time, 24/7, and yeah, I want to feel fulfilled, but I think that coaches have to remember that you need to work in order to have that success. So, I've had conversations with you at weird times during the day. I know you're working your tail off, but you love what you're doing. So coaches need to remember that there is a level of work. You want to be building to build a better lifestyle for yourself, but without hard work and without grinding to figure out how to do those things that you don't understand how to do, you won't grow. So I think it's a good piece, like why, what, and work.
That's why it's called the GSD show.
Yeah.
Get shit done.
Yeah, exactly,
Hey,
right?
man,
Hey, thanks
so
Mike,
much.
I appreciate
A lot of great
it.
info.
Cool, great.
Take care.